You've been helping us pick our European team of the year so far after the pool stages. We've also had about 40,000 votes compiled over the last few days on Twitter, and this is the team that we've got. Some standout names.
Yeah, well, so this is a team picked by you, the members of the general public. Not that many, 3 Englishmen only, no Welshmen. I think it's a reflection of what's happened in the first 6 rounds of Europe. If we look at the pack, Vunipola, Sean Cronin, Tyg Furlong, over 60% of you voted for that front row, not surprising. Maro Itoje, been a real colossus, just apparently re-signed today till 2022 for Saracens, so they'll be delighted.
Cheap.
Very cheap, along with all those other very cheap players. Ty Byrne has re-signed, and he's been outstanding he's re-signed. He signed from the Scarlets over to Munster. He's been absolutely outstanding. And then that back row, Peter O'Mahony, Underhill, who's sadly injured but been outstanding in the early rounds, and probably the player of the tournament so far, William Mata.
Billy Mata, tell you about that offload, probably one of the moments of the tournament as well, Emily.
Yeah, amazing. I think, you know, when you've got someone with ability like that, you're going to get players running off him, and when you're trying to tackle him, defend him, you think, what's the point?
It makes it very hard. Let's move on to the backs. We're looking at the back line. Antoine Dupont is man of the match at the weekend. Unbelievable form, which he is. Finn Russell, for me, playing some of the best rugby of his life. That midfield, we're certainly going to get used to that over the next few weeks as well. Robbie Henshaw and Ringrose could be the starting partnership maybe next weekend against England. Cheslin Colby, an absolute sensation, not just in South African shirt, but for Toulouse, playing some of his best rugby. Stockdale on the left wing. He scored in every single round, bar the last one. And Alex Good, maybe not wanted by England, very much loved by Saracens as a 15. How much do you appreciate the work he's been doing there?
Yeah, he's been, been successful for years now and doing a real good job at Saracens. Obviously, I'm sure no one's more disappointed than he is not to be in that England setup. And personally, I think he's very unlucky. It's a dangerous backline. It would be a tough day at the office playing against those guys, but yeah, good side.
Lawrence, you've picked out some key individuals within that 15. Who are you starting
with? Well, I went for 4 players from various different positions. I started with Sean Cronin, player I know very, very well. He's really worked hard at his game. For me, he cemented himself as one of the best hookers in the competition. This is Leinster, where they scored 2 tries in this fashion. Sean Cronin, obviously just doing what all good hookers do, making sure the number 7 doesn't take it off you before you get to the line, and he falls over the line for an easy score. But again, he's like an extra back row forward. He's got that real ability, not only to take ball to the line, but actually the pace to puncture the defensive line as well. And here he catches Wass out. And I think what I like about him is he's worked his way up to the very top of the game, and he's really pushing Rory Best for that starting berth as Ireland's hooker.
He's been outstanding. Let's move from the front row to a back row, a place where you're very familiar with. One of the players that you're certainly a massive fan on, Peter O'Mahony.
Yeah, I really like him. I mean, he's obviously their leader, both on and off the field, spiritual leader, talisman. He pulls the team together. He did so in very difficult circumstances last season, and I think he's been outstanding this season as well. You can see what he does for the team in terms of his ability as a line-out forward, to have a very strong line-out, and he's got that ability to compete. We've highlighted him here in the defensive line. He's got, I think, the second most turnovers in the entire Munster team, so he's got that ability to become a real problem. And I just think he's a player who, doesn't do necessarily spectacular things, but he does so many great things on the field.
He certainly does. And in the back line, you pick Finn Russell. I mean, Emily, as a versatile player yourself, you certainly be able to appreciate the work in which Finn Russell's been doing this year. Like I said already, he's absolutely red hot at the moment, isn't he?
He really is. It's been amazing to see. I think going over to France, seeing him play, just kind of freed up that side of his game. He's got a fantastic kicking game, handling game, running game, all of that sort of stuff. Linked up really, really well with players like Simon Zebo over there. Question marks sometimes if they're not on the front foot. Can he control the game? Can he get a hold of it? Will we see that in the Six Nations when obviously Scotland are playing? Not sure, but just fantastic to see him mixing it up. And he's got that flair, he's got that skill ability to pull things like this out of the bag, and it's been awesome to see so far.
He's certainly been very good. Any winger, I think, would like to be playing outside him, none less so than Jacob Stockdale. He has been in scintillating form. How much have you appreciated what he's done over the last few months? Yeah,
he's a threat all round, really, isn't he? He's a big guy, quick, decent footwork. And he just scores from scenarios where you don't expect it. He's got this chip and chase game which, just seems to come off every time. Every time he's kicking that ball with his left foot, it's bouncing in back into his hands here. He's got no right to score that, but he goes after it with intent and seems to get on the better end of it. He's got the strength in the contact, the footwork to go with it. Big guy, quick. you know, he's a tough competitor.
He's certainly playing some brilliant rugby, and this is another try which he had absolutely no right to score. He's beaten that defender twice. Offload, there we go, and then he goes over. So anyway, that's the team compiled by Lawrence and you guys at home, 40,000 of you for getting involved. Anyway,